This is of course pro bono. It's lateral thinking. And if you are a creative person, you want to say there's always another solution. Just say that. That's not only a solution. There are many other solutions. And indeed, especially in arts and architecture, you can skin the cat in many ways. You know, there's always some. So you have to inculcate that lateral thinking, always saying that there's more, always find out, surely there is something in it, and so on. And that's an important, okay, that's one thing. Analyze and think about it. A colleague of mine in the same school in town planning, he is in He's got well in government department and so on. He was ambassador at one time. He is a town planner and architect. In the examination, he got full marks. But before that, he would not tell me. But after the examination, say it's all over now. Can you tell me how can you get distinction and so on? How can you have that? He said it's a matter of learning process, remembering it. The fact, you know, in school, if you got all the facts, you get 100% right. But I said, how do you do that? So he says, this, you know, the facts are always given. You know, if you say something, facts 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and shorten the facts into one alphabet. And then if you know that, the answer for that is this, and then you can repeat that. So literally it's a kind of verbatim thing. He can write that like mathematics, so exact. But creativity is not exact. It's far different than that. So in life, he did not do well. I did well. So that's a different thing. You just verbatim, especially Chinese school, we are very good in terms of retentive memory. Mathematics, science, fantastic. But creativity, lacking. The Malays are better in that because they are dreamer, you know. They don't get very far sometimes because they are lazy. Malays are lazy still. Sorry about that.
Any question on creativity?
Well, I agree with a lot of your thoughts about how architecture has to be an experience in
Yes,
it.
yes.
Education
Observation.
rather than
Observation is the greatest teacher of all. You sit there, you talk, but your mind and your eyes are looking around. You know what it is.
Observation requires a layer of other thoughts.
Yes, yes.
Since that you think the world has, like you say, is educating you. You allow that.
Yes.
So some people think that once you get out of something, then you know you can't learn from this person, can't learn from this person because they are of different religion. Or
You can always learn from something. Even a child can learn. Even the child, I asked a child, he said, you like architecture? Yes. Oh, yes. What do you like architecture? Oh, it is slightly impressive and so on. It is a child. It is a child, you know. But he said, how do you know that? Because that building is so simple, I can remember it. But the other one, I can remember that building. What does it mean? Simplicity in terms of form, and so that your memory can retain you, and you say, click straight away. Opera House, straight away.
Less is more.
Okay. Eiffel Tower, straight away. The form, that simplicity, and that's become iconic in some way. So you learn from a child. You can learn from anybody.
I think
And you should.
Okay, I read one of the interview with the Star sometime in 2010.
Okay.
So you mentioned about that the first scholars, our first scholars, were many from Oxford and Cambridge, and therefore
Yes.
they were very much able to think critically.
Yes.
And then a lot of them think about nation building rather than this idea of lifestyle in their pursuit of life. So would you think that was because of the university that able to create them to think critically, or they themselves who were able to go to the university were already inclined to be able to think?
No, before that they don't. They may have already inherited that some seed in them, but it is at the university, especially. I've been there, but not educated in the University of Cambridge, such as Cambridge and Oxford. But our earlier generation, they're all either Queen scholars or government scholars. They all go to university. And these are the gentlemen university actually. Those are really gentlemen. Alus, and it's very good for the Malays. You look at these old people, excluding him, they are very polite, they are very like English, so extremely polite. They know how to say the right place at the right place and so on. Small, fantastic.
So they were
And you see that their nature, they are groomed there because the others are there. Except Lee Kuan Yew cannot get along. Lee Kuan Yew from Cambridge too. But he was against the white all the time, rebellious that way. But they are really gentle. To a certain extent, I know two of them before, so many of them. They emulate too much. Sometimes they speak like in Oxford people. I think too much, like the accent and so on. But in some cases, they inherit them, in all the empire and the houses. And we were asked to do one of the house. And they want drapery, thick drapery, curtain, and the inside room they want thick oak panel like the English panels. This is Malaysia, They go to the extent because that's to me sometimes they go that far, they don't know the difference anymore. Because of course they are not being taught aesthetics, they've been taught about arts. This is what I'm saying. They are not wholesome in that way. But they have very good civil service. Civil servant, they are excellent. And today they are remnant of them. I think that's Prof. They are really first class, and they are prince of their own, no more. God. Yes.
Yes, sir. I would like to move on to two last questions. The first one is about the professional bodies and architecture education, in fact, even engineering education. I think there is a view that the professional bodies, whether it's architecture or engineering, seems to be over-controlling the curriculum, and to the point that as if they are wanting to prepare students directly into the workforce. Now, the issue about the university here is that there is, let's say in architecture can be taught as a field of knowledge as well as a trade. And that was what Frank Wright had mentioned in his criticism of the vice chancellors of the American University at one time. Said, you are providing a trade school, you are not providing the enlightenment. University should be teaching the universe of things, but you are conditioning them like a trade school. So I would like to ask your thoughts on what are the limits of the actual role should be of the professional bodies in order to be some sort of a guide rather than a policing kind of entity.
No, they should form as a guide. You should not follow them. University is universal, universal knowledge, universal way of thinking and so on. And sometimes people go to university, they don't know why they go to university. There's nothing wrong with that, so that they can find themselves. But what the institutes are doing, they're only doing the minimum prerequisite. If you really want to go into the workforce, you should know this. But it doesn't mean that it should be limited to that. It should be more than that. Certainly the university should take more than that. And not only that, each university should be different than the others. In other words, the strengths should be in different way. It could be in research, it could be in certain program, and so on. So that you have the diversity of it. And And you know, this is the kind of thing that the civil servant in education department could not understand about this. They think it is like BA degrees and so on, which is completely different. One is to follow minimum, in other words, studio work, that means you know how to draw, or in the computer, whatever it is. You know the law of buildings, or practice, and so on. That's the limited. But it should be more than that. And this is the role of each university to be individual about it. They cannot control about it. And to tell you date at the moment, what is the thinking at the moment, there is going to be divisions of 2 institutes. The new institute that's coming in is not yet. It's just being prepared. Because they dissatisfied with the rate that what's going on. So they're already there. But to me, the university doesn't have to follow that. In fact, when I started the university and so on, I couldn't care less about that. They can do that later. But I do follow certain thing that is required. And you know what is required, you know, certain minimum that one has to get on. So that when they get out, they have the skill. But the intellects are different. Intellects are really higher form. That's what the difference between the technician and the professional. That's two different. One is a thinker.
Yeah, well, the point here is that some of the issues that I have come across 30 years, almost 30 years at UT, is that the professional body looks at every single year of work. When in fact, when we went to Melbourne, Professor Kevan said that he told the professional body, look, we have 1 year, just from all the 4 years, this 1 year, this is the one that you check for all the laws and whatever that is requirement. You don't ask questions about how we arrived to that level that they were able to dictate. And so, but here we have to justify every single year, and that for you to achieve this idea of different universities having different
don't forget, you're talking about Melbourne University is par excellent in the world. It is not because I come from there, but in terms of the teaching methods, in terms of, they are so progressive than any other institutions. So they can tell, the institute, you are backwards. In fact, they do. So they don't dare to challenge. As you know, University of Melbourne curriculum, the 3 years are different. They call it degree of environment. Mm-hmm. Everybody got to know the basic thing of that, and later on choosing to be what they want to do. And very rigorous and fantastic, especially the new campus. It's fantastic. If some of you have a chance to do postgraduate later on or master degree, go. It is really something. The books are tremendous, and you look around you, they're all architecture details all around you, every part of it. And the lectures are among the best also.